Good afternoon. We're celebrating Pentecost this week as we recognize the coming of the Holy Spirit upon the disciples. We find this same Holy Spirit in the Old Testament before the coming of Christ. And this leads to the question, if the Holy Spirit was already active before Pentecost, then why do we say the Holy Spirit came at Pentecost? Now, I've read several people's answers about this question. For example, one person said it's a difference between the Holy Spirit resting on people and the Holy Spirit dwelling in people. Other people in various ways are saying that the Holy Spirit came in a new and a different way on Pentecost. Now, I'm not saying these suggestions are wrong. To me, though, they sound a little bit like theological nitpicking. And see, that's the problem when it comes to the Holy Spirit, or to the other two members of the Trinity for that matter. God refuses to live in pretty little boxes that we humans create for him. As soon as we think we have God figured out, we're on thin ice, because that's exactly when God will laugh and remind you that he's God and we're not. God will do whatever he doggone wants to, how he wants to, when he wants to, where he wants to. Sometimes that can be unsettling, maybe even a little bit dangerous. I'd like to talk about a story from 1 Kings chapter 18 as an example. So first, there's a little bit of background. King Ahab and his wife Jezebel were making life miserable in Israel for everyone who worshiped the Lord. They wanted to worship the pagan gods Baal and Asherah instead. The biggest thorn in their side was the prophet Elijah, who tirelessly and courageously spoke for the Lord. Elijah had to go into hiding for 3 years, and God took care of him while he was there, as Ahab and Jezebel hunted constantly for him. Eventually, the time came for Elijah to emerge from hiding and to challenge these pagan priests that Ahab and Jezebel had brought into the land. So Elijah went out and met a man named Obadiah. Obadiah was Ahab's palace administrator, his right-hand man. Now, unbeknownst to King Ahab, his friend Obadiah was also faithful to the Lord. But unlike Elijah, he wasn't faithful loudly and prominently in challenging Ahab. Instead, he found quiet ways to serve the Lord, particularly by protecting the Lord's prophets. So Elijah goes and meets Obadiah and tells him, "Go tell your master, Elijah is here." In other words, "I'm here, Ahab. You've been looking for me. Come get me." Now, Obadiah apparently knew quite a bit about the Lord, especially this little bit I've been talking about how we can't predict what the Lord is going to do. Obadiah was convinced that Elijah was sending him to a certain death. He said, "I don't know where the Spirit of the Lord may carry you when I leave you. If I go and tell Ahab and he doesn't find you, he'll kill me." Now, in this case, Elijah was able to offer assurances to Obadiah. He said, "Don't worry, I'll go to Ahab myself." And he did, and the story goes on. But I want to focus now on Obadiah's concern. "I don't know where the Spirit of the Lord may carry you." And that's true. None of us know where the Holy Spirit will carry any of us. I don't know where he'll take me. I only know that he's taken me to some pretty interesting places in the past that I would have never expected. I hope he'll take you in places like that too. This happens, of course, as we keep ourselves open to the Spirit, as we do not block off his movement in our lives. If we don't expect God to behave himself, he's going to do amazing, surprising things. Let us pray. Lord God, we live lives in which we like the predictable and the expected. But you are the God who does not conform to our beliefs and to our little systems. You don't stay in the boxes we try to put you in. Keep us always open, Lord, to what you are doing. Keep us always aware of how you are at work in the world and in our lives, especially in those ways when we have no idea where you will carry us. Amen. Thanks, everyone. And again, just as a reminder, this is the last week that we'll be offering these video devotions 6 days a week. Next week, they'll be offered Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you haven't already told me so, I'd appreciate your input on what time of day you'd like me to post these, and if it's okay for you if they are posted pre-recorded rather than being given live. Thanks. Have a good day.